Blackpool, the definitive seaside resort for generations, a mecca of fun and fantasy on Lancashire's Fylde coast. The golden sands and even more gilded mile. A promenade of countless arcades, the traditional peep shows, fortune tellers and candy stalls, squeezed nowadays by the ranks of video games. The fun fair too, vying for a share of the tourists' cash with its whirling, precipitous rides. And presiding in Victorian splendour over it all, the tower, Blackpool's slender summit, gazing agelessly over the competing attractions. Among them, one of the most senior of all. In Crown Green Bowls, Blackpool means the Waterloo. We're blessed with a lovely, crisp, sunny morning in Blackpool, conditions surely ideal for bowling. The spectators already taking their seats around this famous arena. There'll be about 3,000 of them, fortunate enough to have those seats during the next 2 days, and believe me, demand to see this competition is such that they could really sell those seats very, very many times over. But you can watch it with us over the next 2 days if you will. And of course, part of the excitement of the Waterloo is that there's an awful lot of betting goes on, fortunes to be won but more likely lost, all part of the really bustling atmosphere as usual for this, which is the 78th Waterloo competition. Well, that's how the green looks today, but it wasn't always like that. We can go right back to 1902 when the Waterloo green looked rather more rural. There it is, just a low brick wall around the green, no buildings in the background, and though we're only a mile from the centre of Blackpool, well, it really was a rural picture. The Waterloo Handicap wasn't played then, though. That was in 1907, the first playing, and there is the first winner, Jazz Rothwell, the proud man from West Horton, which I'm told is a charming village near Bolton, not far from here. And other things have changed too. If we can move on to 1919, those players there, you'll notice that on the right-hand side, the referee is holding a sack, and in that sack he had 4 or 6 jacks or blocks, because in those days the jack wasn't standard, and the player who won the toss was able to dip in there and select the jack that they would play with, and giving him perhaps just a very slight advantage. Well, a very good morning to you from the Waterloo. We're down now to the last 16 from an initial entry list, of course, of 2,048. They're competing for more than £14,000 in prize money, but perhaps more important of all, the prestige of being able to call yourself the Waterloo champion. The man who can do that is Noel Burrows, though it was 14 years ago. Noel, you're going to be with us summarising and advising for a couple of days. Your impressions so far?
Well, obviously a very nice day. We seem to be more often than not blessed with good weather for the Waterloo final days. One thing that I think possibly a lot of people won't realise is this time of the morning, Blackpool, there's a lot of dew in the ground, and it might catch 1 or 2 players out.
Is this really when the tension hits the players?
That's right, yes. This is the day when you don't want to lose, the day before the final day.
Well, let's have a look at the draw and those players that we'll be seeing today. First match, Stuart Bailey from Winsford, and he'll be playing one of the favourites, Brian Duncan from Lostock Hall in Preston. Second match, Alan Eddy from Warrington, he'll be playing J Bancroft from Hyde. Billy Callow from Rochdale plays Steve Nixon from Winsford, and then it's Alan Ward from Poulton, a local man, playing J Durrans from Bramhall near Manchester. And then on to this afternoon, Kevin Wainwright from Warrington, he'll be playing Peter Bound from Wem near Shrewsbury. Roy Armson from Sale plays Peter Fielding from Rochdale. Jeff Sykes from Murfield in Yorkshire plays Steve Copeland from Rochdale. And Norman Hill, finally from Accrington, will play Alan Shacklady from Ormskirk. And so, the first match that we'll be seeing this morning, Stuart Bailey from Winsford. Noel, Stuart there, 46 years old, no major wins. What about him?
No, well, he's got a very tough draw. He's never actually had a major win. He's been in the final day of one or two things, but never quite made it. I don't fancy his chances of getting there.
Well, perhaps so, because he'll be playing Brian Duncan. There's Brian, one of the biggest names in Crown Green bowling, 42 years old, Lostock Hall near Preston, and he is a former Waterloo champion and the winner of Top Crown. Now, you fancy him, Noel, surely?
Well, you've got to. It doesn't matter where Brian plays, he's always the favourite, and there's 16 players left in this, and he's 9-4 already.
Do you think Brian will fancy his own chances?
I'm sure he must, but he's a very dedicated player. He won't be overawed by the situation, and he'll go out there and do his job.
Well, there's Brian now in the blue sweater, practising on the green, and the other bowler will be there also. So there's Stuart Bailey. So we're almost ready to begin this first game in the last 16 of the closing stages of the Waterloo Handicap for 1986. And the commentator, as usual, is Harry Rigby.
Well, it's the great start of the Waterloo sweepstake. In the final stages, we have a great match lined up with Stuart Bailey, you see there in the yellow, just getting the tackle ready. Got a mammoth task here, tackling Brian Duncan, who's, as always, favourite. And Duncan playing don't know whether he fancies going to the football side of the game. He's just dribbled the jack along the green, tapped it up to Bailey. Let him have a good look at it. He might not see much of it. There's Barry Cottrell in the dark blue, tossing up for the jack. And it's 21 up, and both on 5 start. And Bailey leads the jack and sets the first mark. As Bailey sets the first mark, they're on 5 each, and it's 21 up. The first man to reach 21 goes through into the last 8. Bailey, little bit of a nervous start there, plays one well short. You'll have to put him a bit closer than that, or he won't enjoy much more Blackpool sunshine on this green. There's Duncan's answer, but that's gone a fair way. Bit of pace in the green. Again, he ought to be stopping. Still running on. One to Duncan. Now Duncan's setting the pattern for this match, obviously going to take Bailey on a good long trip into the corners. Bailey's obviously going to come back on the short game if he gets in. Duncan just rubbed the jack, cast down about 18 inches, 2 foot past. has Bailey now levelled the score 6 apiece. He's got in there to stop Duncan, take him a long way. Noel, this match obviously is going to be a tactical one, isn't it? You know, what's your views on this now with Duncan and Bailey?
That's right. I think Stuart was very wise getting in there, because Brian was straight away onto his favourite corner mark, and Stuart's been able to get in and take him away from it.
Yeah, and look at the ball he's played there. Duncan got one to lick.
That's right. It's a fairly straight mark, though. I'll be betting that Brian will just probably beat this, and sure enough, it's coming up just to play it out. Yes.
In the bottom, it's gone. Just lacked a bit of pace there, slipped down in the bottom and went out. Duncan again, down into this corner, looking, this is the golden mile for Duncan. He's looking to rake in the title on this long stretching mark into the corners and back into the other corner. Bailey's got to get in. It's good. Played a fair ball. For Duncan. Counted the end so far. There's Stuart Bailey from Wharton Cons, mid-Cheshire lad. We'll be rooting for him. All the looking for his chances. It's just gone by. Duncan's first full throw into the corners. He's just still a little bit short out of the corner, but he's led a fair ball. Keeps running. Just over 2 foot away from the jack. Stuart Bailey now got this one to beat. Into the bottom, sinking away. Already written that off. Bailey down, got 2 real cracking balls to beat, and it's on its way. Nothing much he can do about that now, only hope that it's going to finish a little bit nearer the jack than Duncan's. And he's sinking away down the bottom, and Duncan pulling it away. 2 more to the favourite.
Not really. It seemed the last 2 ends as though Stuart's balls were pulling away from the jack against the bias. This green is noted for you needing to play with weak bias balls, but Stuart's definitely on the last 2 ends. You saw the way they went against the bias away from the jack. In fact, I noticed Brian saying to the crowd, there's no bias in his balls.
Beautiful road, this taxi up. Might go well past the jack now. Big yard, but gets applause from the crowd. Sending the ball about something like 60, 62, 63 yards. Stuart Bailey now carrying top weight in this match. He's got that one to beat. Another big long ranging mark, this. Duncan padding after it. He's already given it up, Duncan. He thinks he's well in the bottom side, but Stuart Bailey, the Wharton Cons man from mid Cheshire now. Just a few in arrears. Listen to the babble from the crowd. They'll condemn this or give it some sort of a chance. Still coming. Stop. Gone out. It's extremely difficult, Noel, in these early stages because Bailey's struggling hard to get a length playing against somebody like Duncan now that's using the full range of the green.
That's right, yes. The previous end as well, he played a very bad ball when Brown was lying in. He was short. That's no good at all at this level.
Like a train, Duncan guiding it through and he's putting two up before it's even got there. Another real ball from Duncan, planted one about a foot bang in front of the jack. Out about 60 odd yards. Stuart Bailey now really having to work hard to climb back into this match. Going away from him. Played one short. Bailey there in yellow, and there's Duncan padding after the ball. Just arrives. A bit of company for the other one. Just a click. Oh, two beautiful balls. Absolute top form this from Duncan. There's Stuart Bailey, who played really well to get here. Thrilling match against Kenny Armitage of Warrington. Just won 21-20, but he's having a real rough time with this man Duncan. Again, he's gone in the pit. Stuart Bailey arriving. It looks like an early visit to the sands here. No for Stewart if he doesn't get a few in here.
Well, I think the only chance he's got of getting in is if Brian plays 2 bad balls, because his balls just will not go anywhere near the jack on this mark. Obviously it's one of Brian's favourite marks, but as I said previously, they're very weak, his balls, and they just will not peg to the jack.
I wonder if Jack Lee's got his entry form. I don't think he'll be long. He'll have to get in soon. Another new champion there just shown up on the screen. No. Big cheers there for Stuart Bailey, who plays a real hooking ball there on this long swinging mark where he's really struggled to find the land. And now Duncan's away down the bottom side. Can Bailey make a bit of a fighting comeback here? Again, he's off. Get a double here. Crowd already tipping it for another. Have to be stopping. Way now. Whoa, lad. Away it goes. And out. 1 to Bailey. Half a loaf only, but he puts his hand up, and now he can have a little cuddle at the jack, because he's not seen it for some time. He's wondering what it is, that little white thing that keeps running about. He's never seen it for a long time. Just chop the green down nice and short now, on about 25 yards. Played a fair ball, rubbed the jack, it's just gone by. Duncan trying to find one. Oh, perfect answer from Duncan. No mercy. Stuart Bailey left about a couple of foot at the back there, and Duncan just planted one in the middle. He's got to be stopping. It could go out. It's gone by. Far enough. Far enough. I'll have to stop. Rubs the jack. Makes a double. Perfect bowling. No, it's a funny old game, this Nolan. He's had his chance there, Stuart, to play the short marks, which he does really well, and yet he just found that little bit too much pace.
That's right, I think he
and
probably...
Duncan steps in with a double and plants another one right on top of the jack.
He's probably been told about how the first thing in the morning the Waterloo green tends to have a bit of sap in it, and he's tried to make sure he wasn't short, and has overcompensated.
There's one here going like a train. Finish up on the pleasure beach. That. Duncan padding away now. He's certainly got a hold of this match. Played one short, bang in the road. Really again on the bottom side. Don't work at all, these balls. It's running on. He's second. Duncan picks the non-counting ball up. Well, Duncan's now well on the way to victory here. Passage into the quarter-final. He wants 3 only to 21. 21 chalks for game. Played absolutely marvellous in this heat against Stuart Bailey, but he's been able to relax because he got a nice good start, and Bailey's never been able to get in the match really.
See how Brian's balls are just pegging up that little bit there, and Stewart's just won't look at it at all. He's played this ball a lot tighter, but don't think it's going to make it.
Well, that puts Duncan now just one chalk off victory. Duncan's absolutely flown in this game. Noel, he's sort of crept his way into the corners, hasn't he? And kept Bailey on the rack by playing such good woods, and Bailey's balls have been a little bit against the mark.
That's right, yes. Brian's been in this position before in this competition. He went out last year at this stage. He doesn't want to go out at this stage again. He's certainly set his stall out today to win this match.
Well, it's been playing through the summer weeks, and it comes down out of 2,048 runners. Now they're down to 16, and Duncan has already almost certainly booked a place in the last 8. Played a bit of a no ball there, Duncan, a bit unusual for him. There's a fair couple of grazing fields between the jack and the ball there, which is a bit unusual for Duncan. He's played another here. Stuart Bailey, a lad from Wharton Cons in mid-Cheshire. I think his moment of glory is going to come now, because he's played a real ball here. The crowd giving him a great round of applause. A wonderful wood there from Bailey. Really struggling. Offering some marvellous odds down there on Bailey. You can get 4 ton of coal at Christmas and £20 a week for life. That's the sort of odds that they're giving. A free pension, and Bailey gives them the perfect answer. Plays one about 18 inches short of the jack. Right to the knob of the green. The crown just sort of rustling the bells over the knob, and Duncan just plays out. Gone by. Bailey might find a little bit of harvest on these short ones. Run again, and again a bit more. Should get another. Duncan might. Well, that counts a double. Could be shaking hands. Could be shaking hands any minute. This is the one with the milk in it. It might have just fell back and left Bailey on. Broke its neck to get up there. No, didn't it? Just on the
That's
peg,
right.
and looked as though it was going to trickle to the jack, and then fell back and out, and Bailey breathes again.
That's right. It's very, very difficult sometimes over the middle there. You think they're going to get there and they just stop short, and other times you think you've played one right on top of the jack and it drifts away.
Oh, Bailey's got his game going a little bit now on these short marks. He's a good player on short marks. Just wandered a little bit on the bottom side there. That gives Duncan enough room to work in. That's won it. Bailey now got to save the match. Duncan leading 29. We won it. Good ball from Bailey. The crowd now warming up a little bit towards this man from mid-Cheshire, who's been a mile behind, but now he's trying to fiddle a miracle. Duncan struck. missed it, they've gone by, and Bailey now at the halfway stage. You don't know, the crowd always love the underdog here, don't they? When they get a mile, it looks as though there's nobody can help you. You're ready for the chapel arrest, and all of a sudden, get a few charts, and the crowd warm up, and here they are now, rooting for Bailey.
That's right, I've experienced that a few times myself, yeah. But Stuart's got one big disadvantage. If he puts them too near the jack on these short marks, Brian's just going to fire them off, and he's sure enough he'll hit one of them sooner or later.
Played a live and let live ball there, about 2'6" short of the jack, and Duncan with that to beat. Plays one, certainly doing the trip. Might go out on the bottom side. Gone by. Stuart Bailey is weighing it up now. More than he dare hope for victory here. He wants another couple of doubles, and then he could start even daring to think about going into the next round. Played another fair ball, dead length. Duncan looking now to find one. Got to be far enough. Shake hands, and he's knocked him up. Big cheer from the crowd. And Bailey with a big smile. He knows he's on a Dunkirk job here on the beaches, but certainly got one.
Yeah, he was unlucky there, Brian. Perfect ball, really. Just ran in the back of the short ball.
Thank you. First one measured. Desperation.
Well, Bailey then didn't get the benefit of the measure. He only got one. He was looking for a double which would have taken him to 12. He's now 11-20. And at one stage it looked as though he wasn't even going to get anywhere near that. Now he's just playing this little short mark down. He's left a mile of room here. Ball went trickling well past the jack. Duncan now. Got a run and a bit more. Could finish up a fair ball this. About a foot short of the jack, and Bailey has got that one to beat. Otherwise it's a sit down to watch the rest of the tournament as a spectator. What's on the top side, the crowd have already written this one off. It's a shake hands job, and Duncan is through to the quarterfinals, winning 21-11. Well, Duncan there stretches out, shake hands first with Barry Cottrell, the referee, on the right. But he had he played really well there, Noel, didn't he? Early doors he struggled a little bit for a length, and then lengthened the game, went into the corners, and he's just explaining to Barry Cottrell, the referee, perhaps why it took him that long, but...
Yeah, well, there was an obvious fight back there from Stuart, but he'd left himself too much to do. Brian, of course, is so very experienced on this green, with the crowd, the atmosphere, people yelling, shouting the odds, changing every end.
Oh, we've got a first match-up on the board there, and Duncan now already justified his favouritism with, well, not with the bookies, with the punters. The bookies are already beginning to look sadder and sadder by every end that's played. He's 9-4, now he's gone down to about 6-4. I don't know what he'll be. If he wins the next round, might go odds on, 4-5. He still says, as Mr. Brown, who's one of the great characters here, come for many, many years. He's a famous story about him, a quickie where the steamroller ran over a bloke outside and he led everybody 6-4 he might get better. So he's a great character himself. Of course he does the race tracks, but this is his great love. He'll be barking away in about another few minutes and he'll be hoarse by the end of it.
I have a story about Mr. Brown as well. Won a big championship about 10 years ago. He was holding his money out in his left hand to pay people out at the end of the competition, and a gust of wind came and blew it all over the place. And he wasn't very happy about that.
Oh, he's still there, Brownie, looking for punters now. Won't offer bookies. So the lady just dashed out there. I don't know where she's going. There could be 3 alternatives. A couple of them was she might want a cup of tea, or the other one she might want to back Duncan. We won't mention the third. All the pros there know, all the men that were the experts when you used to turn them over a little bit on here.
Well, I still hope to do it again as well. I'm not finished yet.
Well, there he is, the first victor today, Brian Duncan, the Waterloo champion in 1979. Brian, it was a fairly straightforward game to start with.
Well, I did. I got a good lead early on, and I don't think Stuart played as well as he has been playing, and just got a good few chalks in front of him.
Got a bit tricky towards the end, I thought.
Well, it's drying out a bit, really, the green, and that's the trouble playing the first game in the morning. The green's very wet, and all the time it's drying out, it tends to go a bit quicker, like, and they play 1 or 2 reasonable balls at the finish line, but I had a good lead, so it didn't really matter.
What's, in your terms, what's the confidence like this year?
Well, I've been playing a lot better this year on the green, and last 2 or 3 games I've played really well, like, and if I can just keep the form up, like, I think I have a good chance.
Does it occur to you that the class really now is in the bottom half of the draw, which is not your half?
The class well,
players?
I don't know. I mean, in my half, if J Bancroft wins his next game, I've got to play him, and he's played very well, and possibly Alan Ward might come in through in the other four like, and he played very well yesterday to beat Bob Hitchin, like, so I think it's a very good 8, really.
Yeah, will the conditions suit you if it stays nice and dry and sunny like it is now?
Oh, I enjoy it like this. The weather's grand, the green's running nice, and it's just with playing early this morning, it's very damp, really, which is just a bit different than we've been used to.
Well done, Brian. We'll no doubt see you again in the fairly near future. So let's have a look now at the next game on this morning. The first player we'll be seeing, Alan Eddy from Warrington, who's a civil servant, 48-year-old, twice a Greenhalgh's Festival winner, and he'll be playing the man that Brian just mentioned, John Bancroft from Hyde, a man who's played for Derbyshire and Greater Manchester. He's a market stall holder, aged 23, one of the younger men in the game, and a Bass Masters winner. So that's the second game this morning. Alan Eddy playing John Bancroft, and back now to the commentator, Harry Rigby.
Now the second match here is one between Alan Eddy, red, Warrington lad, and he's got top weight again here, but opposing one of the top players in the north at the moment, John Bancroft, who's burst on the scene over the last couple of years, picked up the Manchester Evening News title, which is a very prestigious sweepstake now in the bowling calendar. Lad that's absolutely bubbling with it, knocks him about all over the green. Now he's just having a stroke out across the famous Waterloo green to get his rhythm right. 23 years old. Again, he's the second favourite in betting, and there's Barry Cottrell, the man who's going to see that they don't do anything wrong with the rule book. Just going over to Bancroft, hands the practice jack back. Now here's the lad from Warrington who's shifted quite a few of the fancied runners in this sweep. Alan Eddy from British Aluminium Bowling Club. Just get settled down. I know that the majority of the punters here will have gone for Bancroft, but funny old game balls. He'll have to settle down a bit, Sharpie and all, won't he? Banjo's all right. He got a funny name, Banjo, because it was born out of enthusiasm when he played at Denton Cricket and Bowling Club. You remember they used to shout, "Come on, Banjo."
That's right, yes.
At least he's strummed a few victory tunes out since then.
That's true, yeah. He's got one thing I think he'll control today. He does tend to be a bit flamboyant, but he knows the importance of this game today. I'm sure he'll keep himself under control.
Perfect start from Bancroft. Eddy played a good ball and got it beat first time up. Got to play far enough. Gets past that short ball, it's a bit of a chance. It's won it there, Civic, gone through the gap. Just gone out. Eddy there just shows his disappointment because he started off with two really good balls and he's one down. The top ball in the middle, just to the right of the jack, is belonging to Bancroft, and that's counting, although it looks farthest away. But the referee has signalled to Bancroft that he's on. He's come round the tradesman's entrance the other way, turned the peg round, trying to get another, and looks as oh, he's done it. Oh, brilliant balls. Applause from the crowd at the first end. Magnificent start from Bancroft.
I got the impression, Noel, talking to Brian Duncan, that he quite fancied the chances of John Bancroft. He had some respect for him.
Oh yes, John's really done very well the last 12 months especially. As I said earlier, he did tend to have some flamboyance about his play, but he's maturing and getting that under control, and it's showing.
Yeah, certainly showing there an excellent lead from John Bancroft.
Banjo's playing has always had a real good night's kip. Noel come here very contented and planted them all round the block.
Well, I'm sure he won't have been out with Fred Hume last night, that's for sure.
No, not if he wants to win this, he won't. And look at them two, Banjons, they're like child with both parents there, stood at the back. Eddy's played at them, got to do, and gone careering through and left Bancroft another double.
Now Alan Eddy reflecting on what he can do, because it's a marvellous start by John Bancroft. Standing perhaps unnecessarily while his opponent arrives. Bancroft 9, Alan Eddy 5.
Yes, many people wonder why these sweeps all start around the handicap mark, but they do. You know, the winner is penalised a couple of chalks. But, I mean, when you think there are 2,048 runners in this sweep and you've got to win 11 games to win it on the trot, and if they didn't have a start, they'd be playing Christmas Eve. It's only a question of daylight.
It's a very short game, Harry, and, you know, if you don't get away to a good start, you've one heck of a struggle to get back in.
Well, you know, that's the main reason why they have 5 apiece on the card. It's because, you know, they can't buy any more. We only get 24 hours a day, although a lot of people try and live 36 if they can. But that's the reason really for the handicap. A lot of people think, well, it would be better if they played 21 up level, but, you know, you start talking about using time up. And Banjo's going absolutely bananas here. He looks as though he's dead keen to get into the last 8 now, wouldn't you say that? The way he's playing.
Yes, he's not been that far before, and we've had plenty of advice from his father.
Chance if it'll run. It's died. bang on a road, and it's died short.
Yes, 2 more to John Bancroft. If it proceeds in this fashion, it'll be a rout. Bancroft 11, Alan Eddy 5. I don't know, Noel. Do you think that Alan Eddy perhaps is so soon getting a bit rattled?
Yes, I mean, he played 2 marvellous balls the first end, and John got 2 inside. You know, it's bound to make you think, how on earth am I going to win this game? And then again, he's just cast off that ball of John's and gone out. You've got to have that little bit of luck besides an enormous amount of skill.
This game with Bancroft making a marvellous start. Duncan already through. Bancroft second favourite. Everybody anticipating a marvellous match between Duncan and Bancroft, but then again Eddy's still got a little bit of playing to do here, and might stage some sort of a recovery, but the way Banjo's playing at the moment, Eddy must wonder what he's done to deserve drawing Bancroft in this sweepstake. It looks like the end of the line here, unless he can lick 1 or 2 of these cracking balls, and he's nagging away all the time, but that would be good enough to count against a lot of people on here. Here's Banjo come again, padding down the track now. Ball working away to the left. Run on a bit more, and again, another wonderful ball. Just look at that crowd shot there, and all them that are clapping hardest have had a few quid on Bancroft.
I would say so, yeah.
He's played one. He's played one. Great one. Wonderful. Oh.
Well, that should do something at least for the confidence of Alan Eddy. He picked the jack out beautifully with that one, when John Bancroft was looking an almost certain winner. There's John Bancroft surveying the damage that he knows only too well has been done. So the unaccustomed position for Alan Eddy of having the privilege of setting the mark. He's scored 1, he's on 6, Bancroft on 12.
Now Eddy is trying to find a piece of land where he thinks he can pinch a few shots. Played a live and let the ball well wide. Bancroft smack on the road. If he runs in, pegs hard, got to win it. He's won it, that ball with the green disc, and there's Alan Eddy, the Warrington lad. Got to be far enough, it's hanging back. There's the shadow of Barry Cottrell, the referee. He's just had a look at the end, going away, and there's Eddy going up. Bancroft looks big favourite to be counting at the moment, and this one might be a bit of bonus. He's gone round the backside and gone out. There's Bancroft, quite happy, got the jack back.
That will push John Bancroft on to 13, Alan Eddy on 6. Bear in mind, Alan Eddy has in fact only scored 1, of course, because the players start with 5, such is the handicap system. So just a single to Alan Eddy so far.
To far. Long way over this. Go down the hill a long, long way. Bancroft there just a little bit wayward in his lead. And Eddy's motoring as well. It's going to go past the jack. Count, but it's still a long way over. John Bancroft of Hyde in Cheshire. And this one's doing the trip. The crowd have already said this one will not go in the frame. Played too close together there, Bancroft, but a mile away from the jack. Most unusual. Eddy now had a sweet 2 there.
Well, it began as a sprint for John Bancroft, and it is now turning into a distance race as Alan Eddy counts 2.
Trying a little bit farther. Had to go on the short march. Bancroft was in. Comes back short. Spreads them a bit. Eddy gets 2, and now he's decided to chance a trip in the country. Well, it's a fair ball. Good let live ball. Yard, level. Peg all the way down the hill if it can run. And again, and a bit more. Bit of applause coming up. Reeling. Stood one on the jack, Bancroft. Just got those 2 wayward balls out of his system the end before. Eddy's turned his wheel round, tried to come in the other way, on the bottom. Can't win. Bancroft, mat in his hand. He wants to get rid of that mat as soon as possible. Hand it back to Alan Eddy. Counts the end, just a single. Do you ever think sometimes, Noel, when you know you've played in this sweep and you've picked a few bob up on this green, but sometimes during the course of a game, like Bancroft here now, he's come a long way. Does it flash through your mind sometimes while you're playing that you can take a chance and just try and sort the green out, or not? Or would you say that it's better to concentrate solely on what you can win on?
Well, I'd always concentrate on what I think I can win on. If it's going wrong, then think about something else, but go for the places that you know you can score.
Yes, I just wondered how Banjo was viewing this alteration of land, because he's done so well on the short ones, but he's found a winner again here. Played just inside Alan Eddy's ball, and there's Eddy now trying to salvage the end. Got a run. It's got to run and hold its head up. It's going down the bottom side now and can't win. Bancroft chalks another single. Eddy just shaking his head a little bit there. He knows that he's really struggling here because Bancroft, apart from one slack end, has played some really good stuff in this game. It's giving him a difficult ball to beat. Farther it runs, nearer it goes. Played another one, gets another applause fetcher there from Bancroft. Crowd absolutely loving this. It's a young man coming into the game with success. And Eddy now really up against it. Give it some sort of a chance, this. If it can run. Bang on the road, this ball. Give it a chance. If it stops, it might go out and leave a double.
Just one. John Bancroft says just one there. So with the exception of just one end, we've seen very tight, accurate bowling from John Bancroft. The highest quality. He's on 16, Alan Eddy 8.
Bancroft sets the mark again now, coming a long way. Do you think it could be, Noel, that with Banjo playing this mark, coming a long way, that he knows that if he maintains this sort of form now against Eddy, that he's going to run into Duncan in the quarter-finals, you know, and he may think, well, we might as well have a trip in the country and see what it's like, because there's no doubt that he's going to go there, isn't he?
That's right.
If he plays Duncan.
That's right. Alternatively, he might be thinking that even though he's played well on the short marks, it is easier to beat good balls on short marks. Whereas if you play one within a yard in the corners, more often than not it counts.
Moving away, might get a chance, could win it this. Really good ball. Wonderful ball there from Alan Eddy. Could do it about another 13 of them, Richard, and he might be looking forward to a place in the next session, but that was a ball.
Well, it's bound to do something for his state of mind, if nothing else, and it gives him the jack. Eddy 9, Bancroft 16. Still that rather yawning gap between them.
Nearly went down then.
And Alan Eddy changing the direction of play very substantially.
No ball. Oh, changed the land there and not read it well, and Banjo might struggle to go past this ball. Just gone on the top side and won with the length. Now Eddy could very well be in his own road here. Played the same ball, got to get in the bottom, could hit his own, done it. Oh. Fell in his own trap there, Eddy. Played a bad ball and then went from bad to worse, banging on the same land, smacked into the back of his own. 2 for now. It's Christmas here for Bancroft. He cocks 2 up there. It's like a free gift.
To the table, Billy Callow and S Nixon.
Well, Bancroft's looked really comfortable, hasn't he, Noel? You know, since he started the game, Eddy set off with a good lead, and from then on, Bancroft just sort of took the match over, and he looked so happy and relaxed and comfortable now. And Eddy's been a bit unfortunate, would you think?
That's right. The first end can always dictate the whole of the game. John played 2 Super Bowls and went straight into a good lead. There's always a certain amount of nervousness at this stage of a competition, especially in front of a big crowd such as this. And whoever controls the nerves the best normally gets through.
Barry Cottrell, referee, Staffordshire. Cottrell, the referee from Staffordshire, who stood there on the right, and here's Eddy arriving.
13 Nixon. 33 Callow, 13 Nixon.
Fairway past the jack on the bottom side. Difficult piece of land. Runs a bit quick. Banjo's altered the pace, found the road and played a good ball. Got a chance. Chances. Won it this. Applause from the crowd. A very, very good ball there from Alan Eddy. Warrington man. British Aluminium Bowling Club. Bancroft played at the end, certainly far enough. He play on the top side. Tucks it away. Can he find a wonder ball here? Smack on the road. Gets a rub. Just gone out. Just see that little bit of hope now, Noel, can't you, for Eddy? He's getting that bit involved, and he's fighting really hard to get back in the match. He's just led a real, almost dead ball, about 2 inches off the jack.
It's a big job for John to lick that. He must make sure he's far enough, must be past the jack at least with this first ball. No good being short in the way, he won't be able to get at it.
Oh, shit, the jacker went by. Bancroft scratching his head there, but Eddy's getting on with the job now. Wants to get back in this match. He knows if he can beat putting them close to the jack, he'll be all right. Counts another.
That's a good ball there, Harry, because it's counting 2. It's stopping John from playing through to try and knock the nearest ball onto the jack and cannon it to John's back ball.
Well, you know, and the very important thing here, Noel, is that, you know, he counts these 2, he comes into the teens. Eddy, right. One time looked to lost cause. Now he's can actually start thinking about getting to this match. Bancroft playing at the end, trying to crack something. Oh, chances, he's done it, what a ball. Oh, a champion's ball that. Bancroft played it, declared it, and Alan Eddy must think, well, what have I got to do to get him on the card?
That's the way the game goes. Doesn't matter how well you play sometimes, that sort of thing happens to you. Excellent ball though from John Bancroft.
Now Bancroft going for game. Only wants a double. He's 19 at 21 up. 19-11 in front. Looking for a double here to take him into the quarterfinals. Played one. About 2 foot. Eddy might have found the winner here. Nobody's asked for any progress reports from that end. The referee not been called in to say who's on. Bancroft finding a new one, keeping the pressure on all the time, improving with the second ball. Hallmark of a great player. Well, you can hear the calls have weighed in, but whether he's got 2 or not, it's very debatable. There's Alderwoods. Now Bancroft really fancies his chance. He signalled a double. And here's Alan Eddy. Certainly taking one out. Big quarter looking at with the others. Might get a shake hands job again here. They're asking for the string. And the measurers here, Eric Sweet and Brian Roberts, will decide Alan Eddy's fate. Bancroft, a good judge. Signal 2.
Thank you. That one.
Just coming on to the jack. Yes, shake hands, it's all over. Bancroft, brilliant display. He's just beaten Alan Eddy from Warrington, 21-11.
John Bancroft 21, Alan Eddy 11.
Yeah, I've got the score up there. John Bancroft now into the quarterfinals. Again, Noel, he seemed to live up to the reputation, didn't he? Being second favourite to Duncan, and if, what a match that's going to be if he play. You know, he now plays Duncan in the quarterfinals.
Yes, I think that's something everyone will be looking forward to. The 2 more experienced handicap players, though, have got through quite comfortably this morning. They're used to the big atmosphere.
Yeah, they both, you know, relaxed, played it well, varied the marks a little bit, wandered about in the country, came back short. There's the crowd. Must have thoroughly enjoyed that, even though both Duncan and Bancroft won well and won easily, really. They still appreciated, you know, the standard of bowling that they produced. Absolutely terrific.
That's right. Alan Eddy, I think, can think himself a trifle unfortunate to meet John Bancroft on a day like today when John really didn't do anything wrong at all. he'll have played worse games than won, Alan Eddy will.
Well, Banjo did show him on him where he spread a couple like all over Lancashire just to let him know that he is human and he can play him a long way off, just like anybody else. And then Duncan, of course, did the same thing with Stuart Bailey.
That's right. Not an easy green, this. It looks fairly flat, but there's various things can happen to your balls across. You never know. You get a bit of Blackpool breeze and it blows them off the road.
There's another bootmaker there looking for another crust. Just shouted a few prices out now. They've amended them. Bancroft now in the last 8, so his price, another one, another entry there for 1987's Waterloo.
Sounds like they're shouting the odds, actually, Harry.
Yeah, might be a ladies' winner, that, in pink. Lovely.
So, the matches we've seen so far, 2 of them. Brian Duncan, 21-11 victor over Stuart Bailey. And in the match we've just seen, the same score, strangely enough, John Bancroft, 21-11 victor over Alan Eddy. The game's still to come. Billy Callow next, he'll be playing Steve Nixon from Winsford. And the last game of the morning, Alan Ward from Poulton, a local man, will be playing J Durrands. Then this afternoon, Kevin Wainwright from Warrington plays Peter Bound. Roy Armson from Sale plays Peter Fielding from Rochdale. Jeff Sykes from Murfield in Yorkshire, he'll be playing Steve Copeland. And finally today, Norman Hill from Accrington plays Alan Shacklady, another of the fancied bowlers from Ormskirk. But, talking about fancied bowlers, here's John Bancroft, who we've just seen in action. Good game, John?
Yeah, just struck a length early on and kept it going. But the best I've ever played in the green, I think, that.
You set off almost, what, like an express? I mean, doubles, 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 I mean,
yeah.
But it couldn't last, really, could it?
No, I was lined with 2 good balls, and he came through and ran the jack. Obviously, it was bound to happen sooner or later. But I went on with it in my mind to try and get off to a quick start, because with 5 on the cards when I'm up, it's only 16 up, and it's all important, that start, really.
I can only really remember one loose end that you played. Do you recall that one across the middle of the green?
Yeah,
down
I
here?
played 2 absolute stinkers, didn't I?
Yeah.
I was undecided where to send the jack at that time, where to play. I thought I'd sort of used up my quarter of chalks on the particular mark. I'd got the break on early on in the game, so I thought I'd try somewhere else, and I just misread the speed, really, completely.
Yeah. Well, we can actually have a quick look at the standard of bowling that we saw, which was certainly early in the game and late in the game of a particularly high standard. I don't know whether you can actually see the screen in the sunshine, which you shan't complain about, but there it is. You recall this? Your opponent's got 1 resting on the jack already.
I'll have to see that again, yeah. Really, at that stage...
Both yours, I should say.
Just playing for another, really. I had the length with the first ball and just trying to do the same again.
Yeah. So, now then, the big thing, of course, is the quarter-final, and you'll be playing Brian Duncan. Now, this is a match that we ought to be seeing in the final, really, isn't it?
Well, it's... to get to the final day, really, for me, is a dream, really. I said about 3 rounds ago to my family, I said if I could get to the final day I'd be happy, but obviously once you're there you want to go on and do better things, and playing Brian on here in the last 8 of Waterloo, well, it's a hard game, but obviously I'm looking forward to it and I shall enjoy it.
You probably wouldn't have heard him, but when Brian was talking to me earlier, looking down the whole of the draw, really, he singled you out as the main threat. Well,
I'll take that as a compliment from Brian. Well, obviously there's a lot of good players in there, really. I think the bottom half's looking very strong, really. There's a couple of very good fixtures in there, really. I think Armson and Fielding's going to be a really good game. I'm looking forward to seeing that one, me.
What about you and Brian Duncan? What do you know of Brian? Let's have your impression of him.
I've played Brian about 3, I'm not sure it's 3 or 4 times. I know the first time I ever played, I know I just beat him, and since then he beat me in the semi-final of a competition in Ellesmere Port, and he's beaten me in the 2nd or 3rd round of the competition in Wigan, where he really hammered me. But he's the tops, he's the one everyone wants to beat, really. He's so hard to play, you never know where to take him, because obviously he's such a good corner player, so you feel you should take him short marks, but then again he's such a good striker that if you put him on the jack, you know, he invariably comes and knocks him off, so you've just got to go on and really play the game as you find it, and hope you can get a lead. If you do play bad balls, you're going to get beat. You just walk all over you, know.
I would think, though, that the way you've played this morning has given you a bit of confidence.
Oh, yeah. Obviously, I shan't be I should be feeling confident and looking forward to the game. I don't think of anything to fear really. Obviously I bet Brian feels the same about me. It should be a good game.
Well done, John. We'll be seeing you tomorrow, and the best of luck then.
Thanks very much.
In what will be an excellent game. So let's have a look at the next game, the third game we see this morning, and it brings together Billy Callow, 67-year-old, Shawfield. Best performance, a Waterloo semi-finalist in 1970. And Billy Callow will be playing Steve Nixon, one of the younger men again, age 24, Owley Wood. And his best performance, well, there it is. It says no major wins. So Billy Callow playing Steve Nixon. With the details of the action, here's Harry Rigby.
Well, the third of the last 16 matches here at the Waterloo Hotel, Blackpool. Already had two great games and two great champions through to the quarter-finals, Brian Duncan and J Bancroft, and now we have perhaps the oldest member of the field, and there's the youngest. Steve Nixon, blue, from Northwich. I know on his form it showed up, he has no major wins, but been within a short head of picking up a major prize. He got beaten in the final of the big sweepstake at the Victoria Stockport, losing to Norman Fletcher. So he's no stranger to the big time, young Nixon, a good player. And Billy Callow in yellow from Rochdale. Billy's been around for quite some time, Lancashire Parks, and well-respected player. Gives the quick shudder of the hand as he lets them go. Billy, been in the semi-final here before, so he's no stranger to it. Wanders a little bit through with his opening lead. Always a bit nervous, Noel, this first end, because, you know, you're struggling, aren't you, to let the ball go. And there's Nixon, like, gives the answer to find a length.
That's right, they're very, very important, the first 2 or 3 ends. It establishes the pattern of the game. The man that's winning the ends gets more and more confident.
Oh, he's urging that on Billy Callow, but unfortunately, it's just died short. Nixon not got to touch that front ball.
You'll have seen from the first 2 games, the man that led the jack didn't count the end at the beginning of each game.
It looks as though that pattern's carrying on. I think it's a single to Nixon here to open the account. Nixon there in light blue. The young man is just making his way in the big circuits at bowls from Northwich. Played a good ball. Here's a man who's been playing a long time, really enjoyed himself at bowls, Billy Callow. Well known throughout the Northwest. Played one, tried to get it up to the jack, and it's died. There's the Rochdale man coming back in yellow. Realises played what he thought was a good ball there, but it's just died short.
It's another day that would have just trickled on those 2 or 3 inches and been counting.
Yeah, just that not finding the pace, you see, nor was it just to push it out, you know. And here's Nixon now, looking for another, and plays another. Oh, 2 reelings now. The thing to do now is to watch Callow, because he may he's having to do at this. He's definitely firing one at this. Got to crack him. He's done his own. No, he's gone out, missed a lot and left a double. Steve Nixon, young man, plays with Howleywood in mid-Cheshire again, with another mid-Cheshire man in here. Good representation. Stuart Bailey played Duncan in the first heat. He's a mid-Cheshire man. These lads from mid-Cheshire will really be enjoying watching this. If they're not here in force, they'll all be there at home rooting for these lads. Bailey had a good run and gone by, and now Nixon making a good start.
I've had the appetite whet by Stan Frith winning this tournament a couple of years ago. He's from the same club.
Played one, Callow. Perfect answer there from Billy Callow. Cafetiere in full swing. Definitely throwing one at these. It's on its way, missile. Done it! Neutralised the end in the pit. Oh, cracking hit there from Nixon, and there's the jack gone for 4 buys. They'll pick it out any minute and restart within a yard of where the jack left the green.
And that's nullified the end. What it means is that the jack will change hands. Steve Nixon sets the mark.
There's Billy Callow, just trotting after this ball. He's just played a good ball and had it licked. Nixon smacked it off the green. He's led one a yard short, Nixon, and Callow's not beaten it. Far enough. Well, he stands a double here, Nixon. Callow got one to play and a fair bit of room to get in here. Chances are they count a single here. Certainly got to be looped. Got to get inside that ball now and peg a little bit more. One to Callow. shunted the jack about a foot there. Nice, taxied round that short ball of Callow's. There's young Nixon, a lad in his very early 20s, but plays like a real seasoned campaigner. Been playing the game for 10 years or more. Hey up, chances. Oh, unlucky ball. Nixon's on. The ball on the bottom right hand side near the jack. Nixon here wondering whether he can fiddle another one here, but very, very dangerous. Going like a train, this one. Gets his own ball and he can knock it out. Perhaps put it down on the bottom side, out of trouble, satisfied with one. Got to be stopping. There's the referee Barry Cottrell now indicating that he fancies the ball belonging to Nixon. But there's nothing definite about that. It's got to be decided by the measure, and Billy Callow's put one almost down the mine, Daddy. It's in the bottom of the pit and won't come anywhere near. Not a good ball. Here's the string man. Now on the way to define just who's on. Down they go.
Thank you.
Twang. Back to the other.
That one, wrong again. Wrong, that ball shot. Wrong ball, sorry.
Well, Billy Callow a bit disappointed there, because Billy was certain that he was indicated by the referee that he was on. But as I said before, there's nothing definite about that statement. It's got to be decided by the string, but he may have played that second ball not to interfere with the end, relying on the referee's information. It does happen, doesn't it, Noel, at this game, you know, where you can, it's easy done.
It is, yes. You're the best person to tell you who's in is yourself. You're best to go and have a look.
See, that's so important. There's Billy Callow. It's important, isn't it? He's lost the jack, hasn't he? And Nixon's picked it up and led a fair ball, so he's got problems again, you see.
That's right. He's got to get that out of his mind, that a wrong decision was made, and get back into this game.
See, and young Nixon, like, not slipped up here, just kept the pressure on now. And here's Bill Callow, who's a little bit unfortunate there, not had the best of rubs there in judgment, and it's gone out, gone by.
He's feeling very deflated at the moment.
Yes, no doubt about the look on Billy Callow's face. Certainly disgruntled about that rather unfortunate incident at the previous end, and probably something to do with the fact that he dropped a double there. Steve Nixon, unruffled, proceeds. He's on 12, Billy Callow 6.
I think that was a good point you made there, Noel, about, you know, the best judge really is yourself, because then you can't blame anybody else, can you, if you tip the wrong ball. But it is difficult, isn't it, sometimes, you know, that you try and do a fair job, and sometimes, you know, they ask you for a decision, you've got to give them some information, haven't you?
Well, the best thing that the referee can say if there's any doubt is come and have a look for yourself. I don't know who's in. I can only fancy this ball or the other ball.
Callow trying to wave this one away from Nixon. He's holding his hand out, wants it narrow and on the outside, but it may have pinched it with a dead length, that ball. It's a good road. Good road. Wants to tap his own ball. Hit it clean. Nixon nipped in there, just flirted the winner away. Callow's got one certain. Only one.
But that's something for Billy Callow. Now on 7, Steve Nixon 12, and bear in mind with the handicap system, Billy Callow started with 5. So his progress has been very, very slow.
Good shot there from the ball coming down the hill. Start to work, should come left a little bit now. Kick over, come on, stop a length. Good ball. Nixon. Oh, pace is right. If he's got any peg in these balls, it might pinch it. If it pegs hard, but it's just hanging back. Stop to length. Second. Billy Callow, there's the shudder from Billy's hand. He's wagging it away. He just fancies this ball. He knows when they're on a road, Billy Callow. He gives them that goodbye wave and gets them down and away and counts another 2. Got to be far enough. Dragging its feet there. It's not here. It's not going to land. Beautiful road. Crowd already give it up, and there's Billy Callow signalling a double now, bringing a bit of pressure back on this young man. Well, Noel, another single, a couple of singles for Billy, and I think he'll have got that little bit of a hiccup out of the system, and he's now settling down a bit to play.
That's right, he's put that behind him. He's won the last 2 ends. Another 2 here, and he's right back in the game, and Steve Nixon's then under pressure.
Keep going down the hill, and again, listen to the crowd, they'll give this a bit of a reception. It's a good ball. Young Nixon now got that one to lick. Work. Come on. Come on. Get up in the air. And again a bit more. And again. Run on. Chucked it. Billy Callow again with the goodbye wave to the ball, and he's already waving it on. Got a peg hard. Supporters calling, come on Billy lad. Gone out. Can this young man Nixon find one? Got a run. One to Callow.
And this is a better patch of the game for Billy Callow, putting his earlier disappointments and frustrations behind him, narrowing that gap, just 2 chalks in it now.
Not a lot by, it's still waggling away around the back there. It's opening a bit of a gap between the jack and the ball, but it's come a long way on a difficult mark. It's not easy to get them much nearer. Here's Nixon now, got to find one inside a yard, and he's done it. Done it, got to stop now a length, wins, good ball. Run back there, Steve Nixon, little bit of bounce. Perhaps getting a bit worried under pressure because Callow had come back at him very strongly. But now Callow just a little bit awry at that end. Played one well wide and one a yard, big yard over. Nixon looking for a double. Gets another. 2.
So that's brought an end to the sequence that Billy Callow was putting together. Steve Nixon counts a double, 14. Billy Callow on 10.
It's the first time they've been down the middle really in all, isn't it, here? They've all played across into the bottom corner. Now Nixon, you know, you're familiar with this piece of territory, aren't you?
That's right. Sometimes to your advantage to just try something new. It might just put your opponent off his length. And off the road by the looks of this one. I think
how right you are.
Bit of a sickener for Bill the last end. He was coming back in the game and then he loses 2 and goes 4 adrift again.
Well, Nixon keeping the pressure on now. He's played this mark, played a good ball, played another one, nicely paced, just whips down the hill now. Be a bit adjacent this one, all in a big heap. Now what's Billy Callow going to do at these? Is he going to bomb them out? No, he's played at the end, trying to find a winner. He's in the bottom, he can't count. There's no hope of that. Oh, I think, Noel, that was a bit of a wayward ball there from Billy, wasn't it? He should have been into him, I think, don't you?
He's overcompensated with that ball. He should have been going through it, those, definitely. Having said that, though, Steve picked a very difficult bit of land there. You notice that Bill was only just inches out with the road, but they finished, what, 3 yards away?
played, Steve Nixon. Good lead and a good second wood too.
Yes, a couple of what they call platters in our game. He's just plattered two very adjacent, and Billy's coming up. Could be the winner this. Big round of applause.
He's got plenty of support amongst the spectators, Billy Callow.
With a rub there. Showing his disappointment there, Billy Callow. Looking for a rub off the jack just to check the pace of that ball, but it's gone drifting on there. No ball. Left it on the mat, Nixon. Better pace. Still going, and again, and again. Go on, he's waving it on there, Billy, but chance of pinching a double unless this one upsets the apple cart. He's running to the short ball. Oh, one to Callow. He's not happy. Doesn't want it, Nixon. Not conceded the end. Billy Callow very confident there, signalling one. He's backing his experience and judgment. Who gets the single out of this end? Down with the measure.
The ball.
Yes, he was right, Billy Callow. Age and experience there, Noel.
That's right, he's loving every minute of this as well. The atmosphere, the big crowd. I think the time for his supporters to start worrying is when that hand stops shaking.
Give us a waggle, Billy. There it goes. And again. Beautiful road. What's his length like? Beautiful road if he's a good length. Roundabout. Miss all the shouting here. It's going like a train. Really had a good wave off. This should, according to Billy's hand signals, this should finish against the jack, and it's not bad. The crowd condemning this ball. They think it's short, but it's still going. 2 to Callow.
Just 2 chalks in it now. Billy Callow 14, Steve Nixon 16. Billy Callow really making a fight of it now.
the crowd murmuring here and bubbling. They know that this ball's done the trip, and difficult piece of land. It's very, very quick near the edge of the green there. Difficult to find a length, and Billy Callow leads a very, very good ball. Listen to the crowd, listen to the crowd. Here comes the applause. Nixon, a front toucher. Flying in the pit.
Callow takes his cap off. A certain amount of disgust, leaving Steve Nixon with the chance of counting a double. Looks short.
A single there to Nixon. Tried to wave that ball on, but it took no notice of him. It's only a lump of wood and you can't move them anymore. Big yard shot. Gone out. Got another here. First ball coming up on top of the jack. Oh, he may have. I still think it looks as though he's got two, Nixon. He's just disturbed the jack there a couple of inches. Ooh, what sort of a chance is this? Oh, just gone round the back, gone out. Just brought back again there, Nixon, didn't he, to get within two of victory now, book a quarter-final place and all, and he's, you know, Billy Callow came back a little bit, and Nixon found the good balls, didn't he?
That's
just
right. It's the second time this game that's happened. Bill was just back in with a chance, and then Steve Nixon, and that's a bit of a pun there, Nixon, but really up against it now, Bill.
Left it on the mat. Nixon looking to get a double here. Very, very important double for him, because if he gets them on the card, he in turn goes on the card for the final day at the Waterloo, and he's done it. Played a brilliant ball. Billy Callow on his way back. He knows he's looking defeat in the face here. Billy, got to find a wonder ball here. Either nullify the end or save one. It's a difficult situation. I think he's going to throw one. He's going to throw one at the end. Played through. Look for the handshake. He's nearly done the jack. He's missed them all and gone by. Weighed in. And Steve Nixon, the young man from Northwich, has made the quarter-finals of the Waterloo handicap.
You try your best. And I know
he won fairly comfortably there, Nixon, no, didn't he? But it wasn't that easy of a game, you know. Billy's a very experienced player. I don't think he had too good of the running of the game, really. One or two rubs didn't go right for him.
No, that's right, but you've got to admire Steve there, that moments when Bill was coming back at him, that he kept his nerve and managed to steal the end. And then he used his head and went on a different part of the green that they'd not used before.
Yeah, I've seen him play a good few times, Nixon. I liked him, you know. I mean, I remember him playing at Stockport when he got in the final with and then lost with Fletcher, which would have made the big breakthrough. But now we've got the draw as it stands result-wise. Bailey went down to Brian Duncan, who's even a bigger favourite, and then Bancroft came along and he beat Alan Eddy, and then Callow's just gone down with Nixon 14-21, and there was Ward and Durrans to come, and Wainwright bound, Ry Armson, or former BBC Top Crown champion, and Sykes, chap from Yorkshire, and you know what these Yorkshiremen are known for, getting a few bob, and he plays Steve Copeland, and then Hill, Norman Hill, and Alan Shacklady, very difficult man to lick on here.
Yes, Alan Shacklady would be one of my favourites for this competition. There's a lot of experience on this green, having won the Lancashire Merit and other competitions as well.
Well, there are just a few very prominent bowlers who've won the Waterloo twice, but there is only one man who's ever won the Waterloo twice in succession, Mr. Bernard Kelly, 1953, 1954, Mr. Kelly.
That's right.
What do you remember of those years?
Oh, very nice memories, yes.
Were they hard games, or tell me, were they hard games or easy ones?
Well, the first year was the worst. I think the second year I was more relaxed and more comfortable.
So winning it once gave you that sort of impetus to win it a second time?
It certainly did, yes.
Why, do you know why nobody's ever done it since then?
I couldn't say. Probably the handicaps just beating them, you know. Because you go back to 3, giving everybody a start. Most of them better bowlers than yourself. And I think that just stops them from winning the second year.
Well, let's see what your memory's like. Do you remember who you played in 1953?
1953, Harry Tabiner. That was from, I think it was Hanford, somewhere around that area.
And that was the hard game. What was the score?
21-20.
Oh, it was a hard game.
Yeah.
Now, what about the easy game, 54? Who did you play then?
Well, it wasn't an easy game. It was a hard game, the final. And just managed to scrape home 21-19.
Oh, so they were both pretty close games then?
Yes, but I was more relaxed the second time and didn't really worry about it as much. When you've won it once, you know you've done it. The second time you relax.
Tell me a little bit about the atmosphere here at the Waterloo. Was it the same in those days as it is now?
Wonderful. I could tell you some of the remarks that comes from the crowd, but it wouldn't do on here.
Well, you mean remarks of encouragement that you get from the crowd?
Well, more or less, yes.
Are they a critical bunch as well?
Oh yes, very much so. Yes, they certainly know the game, in and out, more sometimes than the players do.
What about this morning? What have you enjoyed this morning particularly? Which of the games you've seen?
Well, to see these young fellas coming up now, it's very good. But a few years ago, Crown Green bowling, you know, it was in the doldrums really. But since television's taken over, it's coming out more and more every year, I think.
Does that really affect the standard of the game? I mean, is the standard of bowling now any better than it was?
Well, I should think so, yes. Yes, because not only is it helping the players, but the people that own the greens are looking after them much better than they used to do, which makes it much easier for the players.
You tend to have the impression, looking back, that it was perhaps a little less gentlemanly in years gone by. Is that right or wrong?
I don't think so, no. I think you've always had some of the boys that like to scatter them around the green, and that's always been in the game, so there's no rule against it, so you can complain, but nobody takes any notice.
And the standard of sportsmanship, has that changed?
Oh, no, I think it's as good now as it always has been, yes.
So let's get right up to date again. Who would you tip to win it this year?
Oh, there's only one man that really outstanding that I've seen while I've been here this last couple of days is Duncan. But I suppose everybody picks Duncan. He is a good player, there's no doubt about it.
You must have been a little bit impressed by J Bancroft's performance.
Oh, John played very well for a young man, yes. And of course, he's only young, plenty of time to make it in later years if he doesn't make it this year.
The way you're talking, you still obviously maintain a pretty close interest in the game.
Well, I do, when I can get out, yes. But I've had a lot of ill health recently and not be able to get around as much as I like to.
What sort of pleasure does it give you now?
Oh, well, I like to see really good games. And I think the best game I've seen in the last 2 years, as far as bowling by both players were concerned, was the one between J Durrands and the young fella from Yorkshire. It was a marvellous game. I don't think I've ever seen one better.
What do you think of the changes that have taken place at the Waterloo? It's a rather more sort of smooth and sophisticated place now, isn't it?
I remember when the stand over there was just a tarpaulin on the back, and yet there was close enough to 4,000 on then in those years.
We had a look at a picture earlier today of the Waterloo as it was in 1902, when there was just a low stone wall around it.
I don't remember that. I've been coming since 1947, so that's quite a long time.
And the weather today, this suits bowlers, doesn't it?
Beautiful, beautiful. This is ideal, both for the players and the people watching.
Well, let's just emphasise that. Thank you very much, Mr. Kelly. Mr. Bernard Kelly, the only man to have won the Waterloo handicap 2 years in succession, 1953, 1954. Thanks, Bernard. Thanks very much. So, now we need to see the young man, what a contrast in ages, Steve Nixon. Steve, who's through to the quarter-finals. That wasn't the easiest of games, as it turned out, Steve, was it?
No, it wasn't actually, no. It sounds a comfortable scoreline, 21-14, but really wasn't quite like that as we saw. So I'm just glad to make it, hit the right marks, and played a good length. So.
Did you detect once or twice that Billy Callow was getting a little bit frustrated in the middle of the game in a way?
No, not really. I didn't notice at all actually. Just tried to carry on and concentrate on my own game. So. I just noticed his, famous action.
There was one incident that we noticed where the referee suggested that he was in, and he wasn't. Yeah. I mean, from a bowler's point of view, is that upsetting, or is it something that you don't really bother about?
Well, I suppose it's difficult to say at this time because this occasion it went in my favour. But I must say, looking at the bowls, that I agreed with the referee at the time. I thought Billy was in. I'm sure he would have been disappointed at that, actually, yeah.
So then let's the top half of the draw, you must be looking at it now being in the quarter-finals. There's some fairly formidable competition. I mean, there's Brian Duncan, there's J Bancroft. Mind you, they can't both get through. What do you think about that?
Well, just take each game as it comes now, It's the same old story, isn't it? You just got to keep plodding away and see how we go.
What about the Waterloo? I mean, presumably you haven't been this far before in the Waterloo. How are you finding the atmosphere, the conditions, that sort of thing?
Terrific. The conditions are perfect. Green's running lovely. The crowd, tremendous. because I've never even been here as a spectator, so it's fantastic atmosphere, I love it, yeah.
Well, you've booked your place for tomorrow. Well done, Steve. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you.
So we can move on now to the final match of this morning, and it brings together Alan Ward, 42-year-old lecturer from Blackpool. Number of local titles, but no really major titles. His team club is Carlton, and he'll be playing in this final match of the morning J Durrands, 23-year-old British telecom engineer from Bramall near Stockport, who's been bowling since he was 10 years old. His club is Nursery. With the commentary, here's Harry Rigby.
As Alan Ward, Poulton, Blackpool's sole rep in this, the final stages of this great sweepstake, and he's really been buzzing, this lad. Quietly fancied by a lot of the lads who know a bargain when they see one here at Blackpool. It's been well backed. Plays here at the Waterloo Green, so he's quite familiar with the surroundings, although his club is at Carlton. That's Alan Ward in red. And here's his opponent. Just coming up, it's J Durrands. Just waiting to toss to start the match. It's Alan Ward on the right. Barry Cottrell now just waiting for J Durrands to arrive. John's from the Stockport area. He has won one or two local handicaps, John, including the Red Lion. That's a familiar name for you, Noel, but not at your place, at, or what was, but the one at Hazel Grove. A nice green, and they had an open handicap, and J Durrands opened his account by winning that last year. He's a good player, hits form. He might give this man Ward a bit of trouble. But here they go now with the first end, and it's Ward to set the mark. Important first end. Durrans can run a little bit, might just pinch it. He's died short. Ward then got away with the lead, a yard short. Durrans had have beaten that, it would have put him in a difficult position, and now he's improved with his second ball. Good ball. Still having a measure. Durrans found what might be a very important ball. Get over the jack early doors. But Ward gets the nod at the finish and opens the account. Just bit of back ball. There's nobody given any indication yet as to who's on. But Ward sorted it out here. That's definitely one to Ward and a bit of a squeak with the other. What a road if he can peg. Sit it clean. Oh, rubbed it and gone by. Unlucky ball. Just one to Ward.
Alan Ward, the local man from just up the road, Poulton the Fylde. Local knowledge paying off.
Played far enough. Right ball to play and all there, wasn't it? Because he's got a hard ball to lick.
That's right, he changed his peg there actually, and more chance of trying to take the jack.
That's a good reply, but it leaves Alan Ward just with the one. Slow progress. Ward on to 8. J Durrans yet to score, just with the 5 he started with.
Been a good tight start to this match. You know, he's not scored yet, J Durrans, but he's played well at each end. You know, he's not spread them. Ward using the green well. Plenty of knowledge here. Little awkward swinging peg marks over the crown. After it, nice easy style, good big follow through, swings the balls away, but he's well off the road with this. Missed that short ball, got to miss the short ball, and he's played one. Very good ball there from Durrans. On the jack there would have been very, very handy and welcome for J Durrans from the Nursery Bowling Club at Stockport. Here's Blackpool lad, left it on the mat, still a long way short. Durrans smack on the road. Better ball coming up, but it's still short. well spread out, these. Countered the back ball, Ward. Had a chance there, Noel, didn't he? Durrans, you know, because they both spread them. They were smack on the road, like one short, one too far, but...
Yeah, one in the middle would have been very nice there. He's playing very steady though, no reason why I shouldn't get back into this game.
Looking for a good ball here. Stops a dead length he could win, but it's too far. Gone. One to Ward.
Well, John Durrans not really having any luck in the game so far. Alan Ward counting a single. He's on 10, Durrans on 6.
Well, so far in this game, not been a double recorded yet, Noel, so it gives you some idea, doesn't it, of the tightness here that they're playing.
That's right, but they have gone on a different mark each time the jack's been led. I think Alan Ward, with his better knowledge possibly of the green, each time he's going to take John somewhere different.
Still a bit spread out, but Ward's confidently puts 2 up. John Durrans had a bit of a chance there and didn't take it.
And gives the first double of the game to Alan Ward.
Again, Ward left a bit of room. This is where Durrans should be stepping in, really, and making these balls count. Played one. Short. Just gone too far. 1 to Durrans.
Tell him what 4 odds you give
bang on the road, but he's just died a yard short. Just wanted a little bit more running in that ball. This certainly has enough pace on if he can get a clear run. Good ball now. Just squeezed past that short ball from Durrans and landed almost on top of the jack. J Durrands. Oh, he's played a no ball. What a time to find that one. Oh, fell out of his hand that. Played it like a coconut, John. Keeps playing them sort, he won't be around much longer. It's very, very unlike him, that. Played tight ends, squeezes past again. Only one. Opened a fair gap now, Noel, hasn't he, Ward, with his, you know, his utilising the green and knowledge of the green.
So John's just lost his way a little bit. He's played one or two loose balls. Needs to get that concentration going again.
John might find it a bit difficult to regain his concentration if Alan Ward keeps playing. But just like that one, just rubbing the jack.
That's right, when things aren't going quite right, the opponent is more relaxed and generally plays better.
Another one. Well, that's good bowling.
Just when Ward looked as though he was going to start really running away with this match, leads to really hooking balls, and J Durrands pulls out a real winner. Level, good length, licked it, good ball. Give it some sort of a chance. Give it a chance, this. Oh, wonder reply there from Durrans. What a good ball.
Alan Ward being given the not too happy news that there's probably just 2 inches between his opponent's wood and the jack.
Can't win. 1 to Durrans. Well, that's a good sign, Noel, isn't it? When he came through there and won with the second ball, a good improving ball when the pressure was back on him again, so it might be that, you know, we could get a bit of a revival here from Durrans.
He needs to be playing 1 or 2 more good balls yet. This one's just drifting slightly away.
It's gone steaming a good way past. I don't think they're too particularly bothered about them two yet. Let's see what happens with the last two balls. Durrans played short. Ward's got to find one. Got to find one. Pace looks right. Comes down the hill. He might peg a little bit at the finish if he's too far. Can't go out. 1 to Ward.
Alan Ward, 5 chalks in front again. 14-9 the difference.
Seems quite happy on these swinging marks, doesn't he, Noel, across the green. As soon as he gets in, he's back down short again, isn't he, Ward?
That's right. There's so many of these marks on the Waterloo green that a homester such as Alan Ward would know very well indeed. And he's using his knowledge now to try and put J Durrands under pressure.
Yes, playing down left to right. Ward after this ball, he's gone finger peg. That's the bias away from the crown of the green. Plays another fair ball just roundabout. Durrans got these to beat. Bit of a murmur from the crowd. They think that's a chance of going in the frame. It might just be to bar round the back and gone and left a double. Another good lead there from Ward. Just wraps the jack. Durrant now under some sort of pressure. Got to hit the jack clean. He can count the end. Just gone by and out. Another rub on the jack there, just goes round the back. Another brace here to Alan Ward. The Blackpool man putting in a really good heat here. Durrans now absolutely roaring, goes through. Two and it wins it. Good ball. There's Ward trying to weigh up the options open to him here. A 10-inch ball to lick, and he's played at it and nearly took it out. He's done the jack, but may well have left Durrans still on. go for the clothesline here. Won't borrow one of a Blackpool landlady because they're a mile away. There's Barry Cottrell, the referee.
This is a black ball for us, lads. Thank you.
One to Durrans. Well, Durrans now just made the halfway mark. A hard match to begin with. First 3 or 4 ends was a bit unlucky not to get in, but Ward kept the pressure on, and now John Durrans 8 behind and led a bad ball. Just can't lead up to the jack, John. He's struggling to get a length, and Ward plays a winner. Had a great run, John Durrans, from the Nursery Bowling Club at Stockport, and I know they'll be really proud that he's done so well, but just at the time when he really needs to find some good balls up to the jack, they just seem to have deserted him. Doesn't miss these chances, Ward. Anywhere in Blackpool for another one, and he gets a double here that takes him to 20. Ward now going for game. Only wants one chalk, 21 up. One more point for Alan Ward of Poulton. Blackpool takes him into the quarter-finals. And played an excellent ball. Get up and keep running, and again, and it can win it. Oh, wonderful ball. Wonderful ball there from John Durrans. One of the best played in the suite, that. Doesn't have to disturb anything and plants one right between the jack and the ball. Hard for another there, but can't disturb them. Durrans has got to get up to the jack. He's in the bottom side, it's still running. Well off the road. Ward now on better land. But can he stop? Still coming. Running hard, he's turned away, he knows it's a good ball. Durrans has got to pull another magic ball out here, otherwise he's out. Still running, can't get there. All over. Alan Ward from Blackpool signals one. He goes into the quarter-finals beating J Durrands of Stockport 21-11. Gets rid of the match, shakes hands with J Durrans and walks away, having a chat to Barry Cottrell, the referee, no doubt discussing how pleased he is to be in the quarter-finals. Quietly fancied by a good number of the punters here, this lad. There'll be a few happy faces round here if this lad cocks up and wins the Waterloo trophy and all the prestige and cash that goes with it. They're going off now. Paper full of Blackpool pleasure with salt and vinegar on it for both of them lads. We'll be back in the afternoon to watch further Crown Green bowling. There's Mr. Brown. Doesn't know whether to look pleased or sad or happy, because they've still got Duncan running and Bancroft running, and there's the story of the life of most of the punters. A lot of my money on there. Somebody there walking up now asking prices. Ward's tumbling down. Duncan very tight now, 6-4. Another keen student of form there, trying to get a little bit over the odds off Mr. Brown. Studying form, trying to find the winner. All ready for food time. Then a quick return back here, settle down for the great matches to come in the afternoon.
And the final winner of this morning's session, Alan Ward, by 21 points to 11. A fairly comfortable win, Alan?
Yes, well, I just found the length of the green, and John was struggling a little bit. So I was quite pleased anyway, still to be in.
Early in the game, certainly, you were giving us a guided tour of the green, weren't you? You were all over the place.
Yeah, well, if you just go up and down on one mark all the time, sooner or later a good bowler will actually get in. So I thought, well, if I can just move around the green a little bit, perhaps make you struggle for length.
You are, of course, a local man. Yes. How well do you know this green?
Well, I've had quite a bit of practice on the green, so you could say that I know it reasonably well. That's hopefully that's sort of my advantage over one or two of the others.
Do you reckon it's a big advantage if you know the green well?
Well, some people say it's an advantage, others say it's not too much of an advantage, because a lot of good bowlers like Brian Duncan and Alan Shacklady and a few of the others practice the green quite a lot anyway in different competitions.
No doubt that you've watched the morning session as well.
Yes.
What have you made of that?
Well, again, I think to all the games it's really been the man who's got the length of the green. Fortunately, it was me as well. So, you know, I'm quite pleased about that.
I'm looking forward to the quarter-final.
Yes, I am. Yeah, I think it's a big achievement to get into the last days, and hopefully I should come, if there's some nice weather, and come to enjoy the game.
If the nerves don't take over.
Yeah, hopefully not anyway.
Well done, well, thanks very much.
Okay.
So we can now have a look at this morning's events, this morning's results. The first game that we saw, Stuart Bailey from Winsford, he was beaten 21-11 by Brian Duncan from Lostock Hall near Preston. Brian, of course, surely one of the hot favourites to win the Waterloo, in his case the second time this year. The second game this morning was Alan Eddy from Warrington. He lost 21-11, same score, to J Bancroft. John played really well, made himself a very firm favourite as well. He's from Hyde in Greater Manchester. And the third game of the morning, Billy Callow from Rochdale was beaten 21-14 by Steve Nixon from Winsford. And in the game that we've just seen, the man we were just talking to, Alan Ward, 21-11 victor over J Durrands from Bramhall. So, the man who's been with us in the commentary box and watching intently this morning, Noel, what were the highlights for you, Eddy?
Yeah, I've got to say I was most impressed with J Bancroft. Excellent performance. Brian Duncan, of course, so consistent. No surprises really in the first 4 games. They all went according to the way I thought they would.
Of course, the 2 that you've picked out, J Bancroft and Brian Duncan, will now meet in the quarter-finals. Now, in a way, that's a pity, isn't it?
It is a pity. It would have made a good final, but that's the luck of the draw, and you've got to put up with that.
Yeah. I mean, if you had to choose between the 2, who would you go for?
Well, it's hard to say. Brian, obviously, is the more experienced man, but the up-and-coming ones, you know, they've got the thirst to get up in the big time, and well, you never know.
They're the big names, the ones that have impressed you, but what about, shall we say, the less big names, the other 2? What about Alan Ward and Steve Nixon?
That's right. Steve's played well, so of course Alan Ward has got an enormous amount of knowledge of this screen. I must fancy him slightly. It's the big occasion really tomorrow, the final day, and the nerves and the butterflies are really going. It doesn't matter how many times you've played.
Alan was saying that he knows the green well, and he thinks that is a significant advantage. I mean, you know the green well as well. You go along with that?
That's fine. Yes, I do. People that know the green obviously have got the better chance. But it's a funny game, bowls. You're never sure what's going to happen. Somebody can blow up. I've done it myself on here. You know, I thought I was sailing in, and all of a sudden it's gone, and you don't know why it happens. It just does.
Will the pressure be that much greater tomorrow?
Oh, certainly, yes. The crowd's fairly big today, but it's even bigger tomorrow. And well, it's like going to Wembley, I would think, for a footballer. You know, the atmosphere it's just the same.
And what about the conditions? I mean, they would seem to me to be perfect. I mean, does this suit the bowlers?
Well, it should do, but the Waterloo's a very funny green. It can change by the minute. Possibly you noticed this morning that it clouded over slightly just for half an hour during that last game, and it just deadened it a little bit. When the sun's shining on the green, then the balls tend to just run out that little bit better, and it can catch you out. It'll make a difference of a yard, 4 feet.
One of the significant things that perhaps people will have noticed is that there are a fair crop of youngsters getting through now to the final stages. What do you make of that?
Too many of them, really, for my liking.
Well, you were a youngster when you won it.
Well, that's true, yeah. Yeah, I think
there's 5 altogether, you know, out of the last 16. So.
That's right, yeah. I think the fact that the game is televised so much now, the younger people are seeing what a great game it is to play. And also, I think the mums and dads realise that it's a game the youngsters can get involved in. There's going to be no trouble. They're in good hands. There's always experienced people to put them right on little points of etiquette, maybe, or whatever.
It's a changing image, really, isn't it? Crown green bowls. I mean, perhaps wrongly, but there was the old sort of cloth cap pensioner image.
Well, Bill Callow still got his flat cap there. But yes, the image is changing.
Yeah. Well, there's Billy Callow. He's still wearing his cap. Yes, yeah. I think he is. In fact, I'm sure he's a pensioner. He's a retired engineer, isn't he?
He's enjoyed himself today, even though he's lost. He's enjoyed the atmosphere. I know I could tell that in his face.
Yeah.
Slightly upset, I would think, at not getting through, but he's done well for his age to get this far.
Oh well, Billy Callow. We won't be seeing him again, but a good thing for the game that the young people are getting through.
Oh, I'm sure, yes. It's good for any game. It's even creeping into schools now that you know, the masters are seeing that it's a game that, you know, it's a good game that everyone can play, and you can play it until, well, Bill there's what, 67.
I think you were making the point earlier that it is a family game. Well,
that's right.
I mean, do you get them very much younger at bowling than that? Look at that, eh? I wonder what he or she. I'm not very expert in these.
No,
matters.
I'm not. Well, it's pink, so I presume it's a little girl. But
I thought, yeah, the seat's blue though, isn't it?
He or she seems to be shouting the odds before, or whether it's crying for a bottle. I'm not sure.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. So Mum's smiling. She must have had a good day with the taking some money from the bookmakers, perhaps. Well, perhaps she'll enjoy herself further. So anyway, let's have a look at this afternoon's matches now. Let's have a little run down the draw. The first game that we'll be seeing when we're back on the air at 2 o'clock, Kevin Wainwright from Warrington. He'll be playing Peter Bound. He's from Wem, near Shrewsbury. The second match, Roy Armson, again one of the fancied players in this competition now, from Sale. He'll be playing Peter Fielding from Rochdale. Third match, Jeff Sykes from Murfield in Yorkshire, playing Steve Copeland, another man from Rochdale. And in the final match of the afternoon session, Norman Hill from Accrington, and he'll be playing Alan Shacklady, another of the fancied players this afternoon, who is from Ormskirk over there in West Lancashire. Noel, what about that lot? Who do you fancy?
I must fancy Alan Shacklady. I think he's always certain to go through. Steve Copeland and Jeff Sykes, well, that could go either way. Steve, left-hander, very deceptive player, tends to sweep the ball from the inside his forward front leg, and he's very hard to follow sometimes. I'd very much like to see my pairs partner, Roy Armson, get through, but then again, a difficult match. Roy's been around a long time, only reached the final stages once to my knowledge, final day, so maybe he'll just be feeling slightly nervous on this one.
I know that yesterday, when we were talking about it, there was a lot of feeling Alan Shacklady, it could be his year.
Alan's been thereabouts a lot of times, been in the final day 2 or 3 times. He's won the Lancashire Merit on here and various other handicaps. Yeah, he knows the green very well. I'd say he's probably played here as many times as B Duncan.
Well, we'll be able to assess his form this afternoon. Are you feeling a bit peckish, Noel, now? What is it? Just about 20 to 1?
My wife's got me on a diet, so I better just be a little bit careful.
Does your wife know it's not working? Or does she know what you're having for lunch today? But everybody's enjoying their lunch in glorious sunshine around the green, as you can see. Those who've decided to stay because it is such a pleasant day, although there's a man wrapped up, perhaps unnecessarily so. But that's the kind of atmosphere that traditionally prevails around the Waterloo greens. The ones who haven't gone elsewhere will be staying on until early this afternoon to see the action in the second half of the draw and to find out who else we'll have in the quarterfinals. So there it is. I hope that you've enjoyed the morning session. I think particularly the first 2 games were splendid matches for us to begin this coverage with, and that you'll join us again on BBC 2 this afternoon at 2 o'clock. From Blackpool, goodbye.
Jack, he'll go a big yard, maybe more, 4 or 5 foot pass now. Stretching out. Fair ball this. Can only win. The more it runs, the nearer it goes. It's won it. Armson got to try and take a yard out of this ball and put it on the same road. I think he's nearly done it. Nearly done it. So having this as first bowl, if he can get down the hill and peg its life off, it may have died. No news yet for Fielding, but his ball's on the way. They're shouting 2. This is certainly the winner. Peter Fielding there, counts 2. See what a cruel game this is, Richard and Noel, because, you know, Armson stands there to go 12 apiece, gets in off the table leg job Fielding, counts 2, and here we are now with Armson 4 in arrears after playing 2 real hooking balls.
That's it, it's all down to a possible bit of good fortune for Peter there. He played the right ball, of course, but the way he got the result was not what he intended.
So the story goes, he carries on now, Fielding.
That's it, he's elated and Roy's feeling a bit down. He's got to pull himself together now.
Can you run a bit more and a bit more, but it's short. That's another. Played at him, Armson. Played that and far enough, wants to get up, wants a bit of luck now, like the type that Fielding had. It's gone out, left a double.
Well, the other voice you heard there was that of Noel Burrows, of course, a former Waterloo champion who is our match summariser. And that was a considerable victory for Peter Fielding, obviously getting himself fired up by that strike, because he went on to beat one of the coolest and most accomplished players in the game, Roy Armson, by 21-15. Well, when we left coverage of the afternoon session, Jeff Sykes was leading Steve Copeland 15-12. Well, Sykes went from strength to strength, winning 21-13. And so that finale, and really it was the match of the day, and one that delighted the crowd. Alan Shacklady, the man from Ormskirk, one of the best, played Norman Hill from Accrington. It's the 8th end, it's 12-9 to Shacklady.
Doing the trip, got a woo, that was a lucky hit, that he's nearly knocked the jack to Preston, banged it, nearly knocked it in half, and got away with it. Shacklady got to get past and stop. Shacklady coming up, they don't touch that ball. Might have made it now. Everybody having a good look round. Shacklady just wanted that bottom ball to drop a few inches. Convinced he's got one. Coming back for the mat.
Well, Shacklady was signalling one after he'd had a look at it, but Norman Hill, I don't think, is conceding that.
Touching, yeah. No, that was the one that was touched, mate. No, mate, don't worry about it.
One more to Shacklady now, goes to 13-9. Well, no, Shacklady's getting away from those little short pedaling marks, isn't he? He wants to get a bit of land now between the jack and the mat.
That's right. He prefers these sorts of marks, and he's led a ball again, dead length with the jack. These corners do tend to be difficult to pick a length up if you haven't actually sent the jack.
Oh, two good balls there from Shacklady. One a dead length a yard and one about 14 inches side of the jack, and Norman Hill now got it all to do again now and plays one here with some sort of a chance. If he can lodge that ball, he can win. He's done it. Done it. Just got a nice little lick off there and counted the end.
Shacklady, or should I say Norman Hill rather, repeating his preference for the side of the green against the crown.
Gone out. Hill now, he's after him, flying down the pitch. Another good ball. Hill. Done one.
Norman Hill with a wry smile, just one to count from that end after Shacklady's accuracy. Just two chalks in it now.
Chance might just score now with the pace just gone outside, about 2.5 foot past the jack. Second. Here's Norman Hill now. He's played another. They're shouting far enough, which means that they think it'll pass the jack, but it's right up to it. Another absolutely cracking ball from Norman Hill. And another bang here. Shacklady wants to jack. Done his own. Now no mistake, got a double there.
This little man from Atkinson, I think, fancies his chances a little bit. He's running after these balls. He's thoroughly enjoying his experience here at the Waterloo today.
Well, he's got every right to do a bit of good running because his brother's Ron Hill, the British champion, so he's had plenty of good running around his home. I bet Ronnie used to go all the errands that were over a mile and he had to just go to the corner shop perhaps. But he's certainly buzzing now, this lad Norman Hill. Done it again. Won't leave that jack alone. I mean, bang into form now, this lad Hill. Really trying. Might have just squeezed out. Oh, he wants an inquest here. He's going up there, Hill, and he's a good judge. Good judge. He's going to have a look, this lad.
Pardon? No, there isn't.
Played at the end. Certainly played far enough. It's after that back ball, touches jacket. Oh, he's done it! Flicked it over to his own and made a double. Doing a lot now, this lad Norman Hill. Just on the outside, could have left a double.
Norman Hill's waiting for Alan Shacklady there to arrive and assess what he thinks may be the result. Is he going to concede 2? Long, hard look. No. He's not going to concede 2.
Where's the yellow one first, please? Thank you. Yes, blue ball.
Yeah, I think Norman Hill was quite happy there because it just gave him a little respite, and it was a bit of a mock put-up job, because I think he certainly was very, very confident he'd counter double there.
Well, Norman Hill Noel is very satisfied with this piece of territory on the green, isn't he?
He's playing like a man inspired. I've been expecting a shock all day, and possibly this could be the one.
Won it. Shacklady, a good battler under pressure. He knows now that this lad Norman Hill from Accrington is playing this mark really well, but Hill's just given him a bit of room to work in here. Might be short. Oh, the wheels have fell off. Chains come off. Oh dear. Just had a brilliant run there, and the tyres have started going down. Doesn't want to start playing them sort of balls at this stage, Norman. He's played brilliantly up to now.
He was just delayed slightly at the last end, Harry, while they had a measure. He stopped, he lit a cigarette. That's affected his concentration at that end.
And the result is that it's 2 to Alan Shacklady. Well, it's a good game. Shacklady and Hill level on 15 across. And of course, a change of territory as soon as Alan Shacklady gets the jack. Off he goes into a far corner.
Can't be bad in this. About 2.5 foot short. Norman Hill got to get in here. Back on the short marks. He's played one. Clear running. Rubs the jack. What a cheer there from the crowd again. They're all on the feet.
Shacklady a little bit frustrated, no doubt.
Give it a chance. Might be on top side now. Got to get on the top side and go away.
Norman Hill, who's trying to give up smoking. He hasn't put a match to that thing yet.
Far enough. Far enough. It's the jack. Oh, you may have made him. Oh, that might be a disastrous ball there from Norman Hill. He's very likely run into the jack. And Shacklady thinks he's on. Oh, that was a disaster.
Well, you can see that Norman's a bit annoyed with himself, to say the least.
Just a lack of experience possibly there in the big time bowling. If anything, he should have been short when he was lying in there, not go racing through and possibly make a mess of it.
And he gets away with it.
Very lucky, very fortunate indeed.
This is a match that's lacking nothing in incident, nothing in concentration, and upset as well. Providing some splendid entertainment, Norman Hill, Alan Shacklady.
Yeah, played a nagging ball again, Hill. Not a lot over. Shacklady having to peg him back all the time. Don't slip up, and perfect answer. Kisses the jack. Drops about 8 inches away.
Yes, it's all here. Good bowling, unpredictable bowling sometimes, measuring.
He struck Hill. Oh, he's done it! Cut it out, clean as a whistle. Oh, what a good hit. Just sliced it half ball through the gap. Oh, and he struck. Crackpot end, and he's made his own. What an amazing end. Would you believe it? What an end. 2 players went bananas there. Ball struck. Well, that was ridiculous. Norman Hill can't believe it. Shacklady hits the block and doesn't know where it's going. It's up to Bangkok somewhere, and it finishes up near the ball that's about 15 yards away. And he gets one out of it.
Well, I don't know. They settle this now with fisticuffs in the middle of the green, probably.
That's absolutely incredible. I don't think I've ever seen an end like that in my life before.
Well, it's been a long day, a lot of matches. This one was certainly worth waiting for. Top of the bill.
Oh, they've really caught on, these two, haven't they? They're both, it's a bit contagious here. They want to really get with it, and they don't bother. I mean, they're playing really well, both of them. And here's Hill now with a reply. Can it run a little bit more? And it's may have just died. He doesn't know. The referee has tipped Shacklady, and the crowd are not all together with him. Definitely declared it's on, and he's short. It's short. I wonder whether we're going to get another strike here off Norman Hill. God knows what will happen. He might knock the tower down with this one and still count one, Richard. Oh, he's played one. As long as he doesn't hit the short ball. He's done his own and made 2. He's got a double. No doubt. God, this match is going on all the time with twisting and turning.
Alan Shacklady must be completely bemused by this. There's the score, 2 chalks at it. Norman Hill 18, Alan Shacklady 16. What a game.
Back on the old cabbage patch again here, Noel. He's milked it for a few chalks through this game and played it really well, and it doesn't look a lot wrong with this either. Just stop a length, it'll be all right, but it's just drifted by about 2.5 foot to a yard. Shacklady again having to come in and repair the damage. Close, even though he may have just gone. There's not a lot in them, but the referee thinks it's won it. They think Shacklady's on. They do it again. Played the new one. Shacklady's short. He's short. Quite emphatic about it is Norman Hill. Can't believe it. There's Norman Hill. He's battled all the way through here.
And, Norman Hill with his cigarette clamped firmly between his lips, unlit.
Norman Hill now looking for victory. Just wants a couple. Crowd shouting where they think he's past the jack. He's not a lot over, he's just in the bottom side, but a dead length. Shacklady again, gotta find one. Gotta find one. He's cocking up in the air. It's far enough. In the bottom side, only got one. Good ball.
Changed his peg there, Harry, again. He wasn't finding it on the straight peg and went round peg, thumb peg.
Good pressure ball, that, Noel. You've played a few of them in your time, haven't you, where you've, you know, be honest, be a little bit up the gum tree and think, well, what shall I do here? Turn the ball round or throw it up in the air. And he's just done that, and he Shacklady him.
So it's a ball like that.
Rub the jack.
It can win you the game.
Fair ball roundabout on a fairly hard mark with a finger peg. He's got to get up to the jack, this lad. He's got to run on and keep going and keep going. Come down the hill a bit quick now, but it might hang back. Not won it. Shacklady, plenty of pace on this. This'll go up to the jack easy and past it. Shacklady be quite happy if he counts this one, because the game's so finely poised now. He's 17-19 at the back, This man from Accrington has played some absolutely storming balls. He's doing the trip with this.
One to Alan Shacklady, and that makes this terrific game remarkably well poised. Just one chalk in it.
Played one. Good ball. Long way, about 50 yards, and this one's got a bit of coal on it. Mike misses the jack and everything else, it'll go by, but if he gets a bump, who knows? Gone out. Only just missed the jack there. Certainly the right ball to play, got to be far enough, nothing for short. Shacklady looking to get another here, and gets one. Counts these two, he'll hit the front. Chances. Chances, run on again. Watch Hill, put his hand up, brilliant ball, absolutely wonderful.
Quickly into the action again. There he is, just on 20, needs one for a place in the quarterfinals. Alan Shacklady snapping at his heels, 18.
He's back on his old cabbage patch. Back again. Whoa, whoa, the crowd shouting, can he hit the jack? And he's done it. Well, at least it was on the road, Noel, wasn't it?
He's had a tremendous amount of good fortune. You've got to hand it to him. He's been brave as a lion.
Good ball, real pressure ball there from Shacklady, because this lad Hill's really piled it on now, and he's in a wonderful position. Shacklady can't get up at this end, but he can. Keep going. Won it. It's won it. This. It's won it. Assert. Oh, he's cocked away and fell in right. Did a bit of a Morris dance there and fell over backwards. Striking, playing through at the end. A superb ball. Oh, what a class ball. Marvellous. Defeated there. Oh, look at Hill. Can't believe it, really. It was almost in the last 8, and then Shacklady played a terrific ball, that. Oh, that's really set the crowd alight, that one, Noel. I mean, it wanted a bit of doing that, didn't it? It was a really good ball.
Yeah, it's part of the thrills and spills of the Waterloo competition. There's only one man going to go through to the final day tomorrow.
Brilliant. Has he played a no ball here? Oh, he's well short. He wanted a lead and didn't get it. Just done a marvellous rescue job, Shacklady, and now Norman Hill trying to find one. He's swinging up. Can he miss that ball? He's banged it. Oh, God, it's going worse again. Oh, what a match this has been. How can you back the winner in this match, Richard? You'd be skint before they got halfway. A wonderful game, this.
Well, it's building to a climax that is entirely fitting for the kind of game that it's been.
Got to stop. Got to stop. It's still steaming on and on. That's gone.
Well, Shacklady's done nothing at this end, and yet they're standing at the moment to count it.
This ball's on the road. It could be over. This lad Hill's put enough. He's got plenty of coal on this. Go a long way. Go a long way. It's gone. Could have got up with that one. Never have a better chance.
Well, had a magnificent chance there, Harry. At least 4 feet to get one in to win the game and go through.
It's 20 across. We should say that this will be the final end, but who knows? With these two, it may not be.
With these two, they could be playing till it goes dark. It's been absolutely marvellous. The referee asking him to keep away. Played a fair ball from that mark. And they've had 22 ends in this match, and it's been an absolute treat from start to finish. Anything could happen. If it runs, it's dragging its feet. Can it get down the hill? It's won it, this. It's won it. He squeezed it in. Oh, a little bit nervous putting his hand up, but he daren't look. Oh, the crowd are really alive to this match now. They know that this could be it.
There's nobody going home early, Harry.
No, I think there'll be a few burnt teas in the digs tonight. It's played up. Played up. Played up. It's nearly won it. You wouldn't believe it. It's nearly won it. This ball. It's got to stop. He's won it back.
Oh, a great end.
It may have gone.
Yes, that really was a great bowl from Alan Shacklady, and it must win it. It must win the game. Surely Norman Hill's got nothing left now.
Well, there's Norman Hill. They had a tremendous match. Seems a pity that either of them should lose, really. He's not short, but watch. Shacklady's there, knows he's weighed in. Ball's off the road, unless he gets a jive. What a great match. Terrific applause, and they deserve it. And there's the man that's just got licked. Shacklady won 21-20 after 22 remarkable ends. And a shaking hands in what was really a memorable game.
Gentlemen, our thanks. What a great game. Alan, first of all, a couple of extremely good pressure woods from you, I thought.
The last one was, yeah, one of the best, I think. Important ball, wasn't it?
Did you think at any stage the game had got away from you, though?
You never think until the other chap gets 21. Once he's, you know, you've always got a chance until he gets that last chalk. But you keep plugging away, don't you?
Norman, you were, what, 13 across at one stage, and then you seemed to sail away, didn't you?
Well, I got 1 or 2 good ends in like, and sailed away for a bit, but Alan came back at me, didn't he? I see that strike up there when I was stood up. I had unlucky knocking him down at bottom, then he beat a good ball up top there. What can you do against balls like that? Nothing, is it?
I think what really set the crowd on the toes, obviously, was the strike that we had just a little bit further up the green there, where you both struck. Now, tell us about that.
Well, I thought, well, there's no chance of beating that, so I cracked it off, but I never expected Alan to strike. When he struck there and came to this so long with that one down there, like, unbelievable. Really.
You're going to tell me, Alan, that was entirely intentional? That's what you wanted to do?
Well, Norman had one ball off the green and mine was at the side, and it's very difficult to beat a football like that. So, you know, the only thing is to knock the other one off. I was counting the second ball, so just luck, really, wasn't it? Where it just put it back to mine. And that's how the game goes, isn't it? They shouldn't have been a loser, really.
Norman, did you enjoy the game? You looked early on as though you were a little bit worried about it.
Well, it's just a bit nerve-wracking, isn't it, starting off? Once you get into the game, you're all right, aren't you? Like, I said, nobody likes to lose 21-20, but it was a good game. At least you've had a game, you've enjoyed it.
And what about the quarter-finals, Alan?
Well, it's the 4th time now, and
it is, yes.
Let's
it
hope.
is.
I keep my fingers crossed and just see.
All right.
Just to improve a little bit, I think I might make it.
Got a feeling it might be your year.
I hope so. Yes, I hope so.
Good luck, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Right,
thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And those men really are still the best of friends. Great stuff in the very best traditions of the Waterloo handicap. With you now is Jack Lee, who is the bowling manager at the Waterloo. Now, bowling finished, what, something like 3 hours ago. Jack, what are you doing here at this time of night?
Good question, Richard. The stadium has got to be cleaned up. It's got to be got ready for tomorrow. There's a lot of work to be done. We've had Eddy, the lad that cuts the green for me. He's cut the green ready tonight. Tomorrow morning, he'll be here early morning.
What time will you be here in the morning?
About 6 o'clock.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Oh, there's 1,001 jobs to do. Make sure that the occasion is right for the day when 10 o'clock arrives.
Yes, it's hard work, Jack, but obviously the Waterloo hasn't lost its thrill and its excitement for you.
None whatever. No. I hope to carry on for a few more years yet, and every day is an exciting day, even if it's the first round or the final. And
the highlight of your day was that last game, presumably, was it?
I thought it was the best game of the day, yes. I've watched quite a lot of it during the day, and in and out of quite a few games, but I thought it was very, very crucial, that last one. And poor Norman, I think he thought he had it won at that
well,
last
there
time.
we are. All right, Jack, thanks very much. We'll see you again tomorrow, no doubt, but we can have a look now at the lineup for tomorrow's quarter-final. There it is. Brian Duncan will play John Bancroft, surely the two favourites. Steve Nixon will play Alan Ward. Peter Bound will play Peter Fielding. What a victory Peter Fielding had. And, of course, Jeff Sykes will play Alan Shacklady. That, the last 8 in this year's Waterloo handicap. Which one, I wonder, will be the victor? Well, join us again on BBC Two at 11:35 this evening when we'll be showing the highlights of the day's play. But Peter Fielding's day, what a victory he had. No doubt, really was his day.